Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is an update on my makeup inventory. Back in January, I filmed my initial makeup inventory video. I went over why I'm doing a makeup inventory, who inspired me, gave you the stats, let you know my goals for my makeup collection, and we went through step by step and talked about all of my makeup products. I also shared with you the app that I am using to track my progress, but I said in that video that we would come back halfway through the year and I would update you. So it's hard to believe that 2021 is halfway over, we are in June, and I'm here with an update video. But if you are new, hello, my name is Kelly. I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of the K-Bella fam. I do post new videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, but why don't we just go ahead and start talking about my makeup. So I do have my app up. We are going to run through all of the categories. I'm gonna let you know where we've had some changes. Some things have changed a little bit. Some things have changed a lot of bit. Some things have gotten a little out of control. But why don't we go ahead and start with primers. I started with foundations in my initial video and I was kind of like, oops, forgot about primers and had to throw them in. So to start, I had 8 makeup primers and I said that I was hoping that I didn't really see any growth, but more so that I wanted to use up some products. So in the primer category, we are down to 7. We are down to 7 primers. I finished up 2 of them. I finished up the Laura Mercier Hydrating Primer, and I finished up the sample of my Vitamin Enriched Eye Base by Bobbi Brown. So both of those left my collection, which put me down to 6, but I did pick up the Glow Lust from Auric in the shade Selenite, and I'm counting that as a primer. That one's kind of subjective. Some people may consider it a liquid highlighter, some people may consider it a primer, some people may consider it, I don't know, a foundation? I don't know. I'm considering it a primer because that's how I use it. I used it today, but I put it all over my face and rub it in. I don't really like it as a liquid highlighter. I feel like I would need Morganite instead of Selenite in order to highlight the face. Anyway, I consider that as a primer, so getting the Bobbi Brown out of my collection and the Laura Mercier out of my collection and adding one put us at 7 primers. So then moving on to foundations, I started out with 7 and I currently have 9 in my collection. And I knew that this would grow because I knew that there were several different foundations that I wanted to try, but I did also declutter one. So unfortunately, I had to declutter the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. I went to use that in my least used makeup products video. I can link that here if you want to check that out. But when I went to use it, it smelled bad and it came out very goopy, and it's actually supposed to have more of a liquidy consistency similar to the Pat McGrath. So that's been discontinued. I can no longer get it and I really enjoyed that foundation, but I did have to declutter that one out of my collection. I haven't actually used up any foundations. The Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation is in my project pan. I want to finish that, and I'm about halfway done with my Armani Luminous Silk. I'm hoping to finish that one as well, but we did add 3 new foundations. We added the LYS Beauty Foundation. That's the new brand, Love Yourself, that's found at Sephora. I also picked up the KVD Good Apple Foundation and the Pat McGrath foundation. I have been lusting over that foundation for so long, and I mentioned in my initial video that I did want to pick it up, so I did during the Sephora VIB sale. So now we are sitting at 9 foundations. There are still more that I would like to try, but I would really like to finish up the Fenty and the Armani before I purchase any others. We'll see how that works, but that's my plan. Moving on to concealers, I had 2 concealers. I had the Juvia's Place concealer and the Pat McGrath concealer. I had just finished up my Milani. So I do have to say I did add 1 concealer. We are now at 3. I did pick up the Rare Beauty concealer, and I mentioned in one of my videos that it's actually the wrong shade for me. I got 200C and it's a little bit dark, so I use it more as a color corrector underneath the foundation to kind of cancel out any dark circles that I have. So I'm still at 3. I'm fine with being at 3. I don't love the Juvia's Place. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it in my collection. I currently use it to like carve out my brows, but that's really it. However, I don't see any movement happening here. I kind of like my concealer count being low because that's one of the few products that I actually can use up. And then moving on to powders, I still am at 2 powders. I'm not a powder person. I have dry skin. I only set underneath my eyes, so not surprised, but no movement there. Here is one that did surprise me though. So I talked about face palettes and how I'm not huge into face palettes, and I didn't foresee that number changing at all. But it has. I started with 5 face palettes, and I have what I consider to be 8 face palettes now. But the things that I consider face palettes are basically anything that's not a single. So like my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, 2 products, a bronzer and a highlighter, I put that in the face palette category. My Ofra Feeling Myself highlighter, 3 highlighters, put it in this category. The Jouer Champagne and Macaroons, 2 blushes, bronzer, highlighter, this category. The Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book that I'm not actually a huge fan of. I got that in Influencer, that's in here. My Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Palette is a blush trio, that's in here. Like I said, we are now up to 8 face palettes because I added 3 more products that I'm considering here. One of them is the Jaclyn Hill like blush and bronzer duo in Pink Me Up and Oh Honey, so it's a blush and a bronzer. I also picked up the Disney and House of Sillage blush and highlighter palette. It's just, again, a duo. So I have those in this category. And then this one, I mean, I kind of, like, I guess I could have put it in eyeshadow palettes too, but it is the Ofra Samantha March Life's a Draft eyeshadow palette. But it's like an eyeshadow and face palette. So there's a blush, bronzer, and highlighter, and then there are some eyeshadow shades. So this is not double counted, but I guess it could be because it could fit in the eyeshadow palette category. But anyway, this has grown a little bit. Face palettes are still not my thing, but I am more inclined to pick up products that are duos, and I just kind of throw them in this category as well. Bronzers. Now I did say bronzers are something where it may grow, but I don't expect it to get completely out of hand. I started with 5 bronzers and I do currently have 6. The only thing that has changed is that I added the LYS Beauty bronzer in the shade Harmony. Now blushes are where things get a little out of hand. I started the year off with 12 blushes, not counting the blushes that I just talked about in face palettes, okay? I did not do any double dipping here. So 12 single blushes. And I said that I want no more than 15. And I have 18 with 1 on the way. So things have happened. Things have happened here. Let's see, what are some new blushes? The LYS Beauty Cream Blush in the shade Confidence. I picked that up. I don't love cream products, blushes and bronzers. I don't love them. I want to love them, but I don't. But I was trying out LYS as a brand, so I picked that up. Then I went and got 2 blushes from Vive. I picked up Pesca and Piazza, and I really do enjoy their blushes. I like the formula. They're very pigmented. I am enjoying them. I also have wanted the Becca blushes for a long time. For a really, really long time. And with Becca Cosmetics going out of business in September, I picked up the Flower Child blush, and then during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, MAC blushes went on sale and they were like $11.50. So I picked up Melba, which is one that was in my collection that I got rid of because I had it as a depotted single and I just wasn't using it at all. So I picked up Melba and also Mocha because Mocha is one that I had wanted to try. And that puts me at 18 blushes, but I do have 1 on the way. I do have a Pat McGrath blush on the way that should be getting here soon. So there's that. I don't really have any that I'm looking to get rid of. I mean, I'm not using the Fenty Glow, which is a cream blush, so I may actually ship that off to my best friend Kaylin because she really loves Fenty products. I wanted to try it, but I haven't even tried that one. I do not like the cream blush by Milk Makeup in work, so I guess I could give that to somebody, but there's not really anybody like in my immediate proximity who I think would really use that one, and it's just a mini. The Flower Beauty blush, I guess I could give that one away. I haven't used that in a while, but that's really it. I'm not really looking to declutter any of these blushes, so we've kind of had a little bit of an overload there. Moving on to highlighters. I had 6 single highlighters. I said I wanted to keep it under 10. I have only added 1. We are now at 7, and I added the Jaclyn Hill mini in the shade Iced because I wanted to try the Jaclyn Cosmetics formula. So that has changed a little bit, but not much there. Eyeliners. For eyeliners, I had 3, but I'm actually down to 2. I did get rid of the Fenty Fly Liner. It was the liquid eyeliner, and I wasn't using it at all because I haven't done any liquid eyeliner in so long. So I still just have like my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in black, which I use to tightline, and then my Sephora Nude in the waterline. Those are the only 2 eyeliners that I have, and I'm totally fine with that. Mascaras. I had 4 mascaras at the time, and I currently have 7, but not all 7 are open. So I have a Benefit Roller Lash, which is open. I have a Maybelline The Rocket, which is open and is probably going to be pitched soon. I have the Lancome Tint Idole that I wanted to try out, and that one's open. So those are the ones that are currently open that I'm trying out. And like I said, Maybelline The Rocket will be pitched pretty soon. I did purchase a L'Oreal Lash Paradise, but that one's still in its packaging. I have a Benefit They're Real, and I might need to get rid of that one. I got it last summer in like one of the Sephora kits, and I think I might have opened it a couple times, but I haven't used it very much, so I may need to get rid of that one. I have a mini of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, which I have not opened yet, and then I did use the coupon. When you get those little minis from Sephora, you get a coupon to try a full size. So when I got the Benefit They're Real in that mini, I got a coupon for one, and I used that to pick up my Holy Grail, which is my Lancome Monsieur Big. So when Maybelline The Rocket gets kicked to the curb, my Monsieur Big will take its place. Moving on to eyeshadow primers. I had 3 in my collection when I started, then I bumped up to 4 because I added the Vive Eye Wand in the shade Vanilla, and I'm considering that an eyeshadow primer because that's how I use it. However, I'm down to 2. So I got rid of the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in the shade Original because it was making my eczema worse, so I think it expired. And then recently I did have to get rid of my MAC Painterly paint pot because that I think also expired. I noticed that there were like some bumps in it, and it was drying out and like sucking in from the sides, and the texture just wasn't the same. So now I'm down to my Fenty Pro Filter and the Vive Eye Wand, and I want to keep it that way. Eyeshadow palettes. So I had 28. I'm up to 33, and I have 1 on the way. But we have had a little bit of movement. I did actually declutter a couple. I got rid of the Juvia's Place Holiday one, the purple one, the Nubian Royal palette. I sold that one on Poshmark. And then I had a Pat McGrath mini. I don't remember the name of it, but it was like one of her smaller ones where it just had 5 shimmer shades, and it was on sale at Sephora for like 14 bucks. So I picked it up, but I never really used it. So I actually gifted that to a friend. And then, of course, I have added several. In 2021 so far, we've added the BH Sugar Cone palette, the Kaleidos and Angelica Nyquist Club Nebula palette. We added the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes, ColourPop Limoncello, Vive the Essential palette, Sigma Ambiance, which is what's on my eyes today. I used it for the first time today. And then I have 1 on the way, which will put me at 34, and it is the Jouer Riviera. So at some point, I'm going to need to do another declutter and get rid of these and share these with some people. And guys, I am considering letting my Modern Renaissance lay to rest. It is almost the oldest palette in my collection. I actually think my Master Palette by Mario is the oldest in my collection, but I'm not going to get rid of that one because it was limited edition. But I have Pan on 2 of the shades in Modern Renaissance. I use one of them for like my inner corner highlight every single day, and it's still working fine, but pretty soon here, we're coming up on like 7 years together, and she's gonna have to go sooner or later. But that's where we are with eyeshadow palettes. Lip liners, I started at 8 and I'm at 10. I'm at 10. How did that happen? So, how did that happen? I added 2 of Jaclyn Hill's, the Jaclyn Cosmetics lip liners. I have Chai Tea and Caramel. That's what happened. And I haven't finished up Pillow Talk yet, but I'm hoping to finish that out because it's in my project pan by the end of the year. Then we go on to liquid lipsticks, and I started with 14 liquid lipsticks, and I'm actually down to 12, but I did add some. So I had this set by Too Faced. It was a quad from 2018, and it was their Christmas holiday edition. And unfortunately, I had to let all of those go because the formula had changed. It smelled bad. They were bad. I really like that formula, but I did have to get rid of them. A couple of these I don't use anymore, so the Desi X Katie, A Mauve Story, and Hot Fire, they're in my collection as collector's items, but I don't use them anymore. However, because they're in my collection, I have them in here. I'm thinking that my Kylie Naked may be about to expire. I still have it in my collection, but that may need to go. And then I added 3 of Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics liquid lipsticks in I'm a Cancer, Be Brave, and Truth. Then we move on to my like normal bullet lipsticks, and I had 18. I'm currently up to 21 with 1 on the way. Again, we have 4 collectors. There might be more than 4. So 2 Tom Fords and 2 YSLs that I will not get rid of. Talked about those in my previous video. I also have Dose of Colors No Shade, which I don't use, more of a collector's item. Then I have MAC Mickizzle. That was the collab with Mariah Carey. I keep that one because of the packaging. I think those are the only collector's items. I added a few more Propa Beauty lipsticks. I have a video swatching them. I added a Vive lipstick, and the one on the way is by Melt. Let me know down below, these like collector's items, products, that didn't make sense. Like the lipsticks and stuff that I'm keeping because they are a collector's item, would you like want to see those in my makeup inventory, or things that have expired but I'm still keeping them for collector's purposes? Like, do you think those should be in their own category? Like, should I take out the Dose of Colors and the Tom Ford lipsticks and like put them in their own, or should I still count it in my lipstick category? Let me know down below what you think. But then we go on to lip glosses. This is one that I didn't really expect to grow, but it did. I started with 6 and we're up to 10. The reason being is I now have 2 Ofra Cosmetics Millie glosses in collaboration with Samantha March, as well as Peony and Queen, which were in the new collab with Samantha March. And I picked up a Fenty Gloss Bomb Cream in Fenty Glow. I don't know that I'm gonna get rid of any of these anytime soon, but I'm not crazy about the Fenty Cream Balm, the new one. I'm not crazy about that one. And then we end with setting sprays, and I started with 3, and I currently only have 2. I have my MAC Fix Plus and Baby What It Do by Fenty. I finished up the Tatcha one. I'm deleting it out of my app right now, and I'm almost done with the Fenty one. And when I am done with the Fenty one, I'll just keep my MAC Fix Plus. But that's it. That's the update. That is where we are on my makeup inventory. If you have been keeping track of your makeup inventory, please tell me I'm not alone in seeing the numbers go up here. I am going to keep you guys posted on my progress, but I will not be posting another video until December, the end of the year, and then we are going to evaluate my collection. We're going to make some goals for the new year for 2022, and then we may have to do some declutters. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.